We are starting with developing news. This is a look at the Fort Lauderdale, Florida airport. It remains on lockdown tonight. Earlier today, a 26-year-old man opened fire, killing 5 and wounding 8 others. People have now been stuck out there on the tarmac, as you see, or inside of airplanes for more than 6 hours. With that, good evening, everyone. I'm Shelton Dodson.
And I'm Patricia Myas. And police scrambled to the scene just before 1 this afternoon local time after reports of shots fired at the airport. The incident occurred at baggage claim in Terminal 2, which includes Delta and Air Canada. The shooter has been identified as 26-year-old Esteban Santiago of New Jersey. Authorities say he flew into Fort Lauderdale, went to baggage claim, got a pistol out of his checked bag, and opened fire. Investigators say Santiago was part of the Alaska Army National Guard until August of last year. He was discharged for unsatisfactory performance. Officials say it appears that he got into an argument with someone on his flight.
We have the shooter in custody. He's unharmed. No law enforcement fired any shots. The subject is being interviewed by a team of FBI agents and Broward Sheriff's Office homicide detectives.
Investigators believe that Santiago's flight originated from Anchorage, Alaska, with a connecting flight in Minneapolis. Federal guidelines allow passengers to check an unloaded gun in a locked case. Ammunition is also allowed in checked baggage.
The lone wolf-style attack has passengers yet again thinking about airport safety. CBS4 530's Ashley Cullinane spoke with people out at El Paso's International Airport. She's there live tonight with what some passengers say they would have liked to know before they got on the plane.
El Paso International Airport is about 10 times smaller than Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport. El Paso sees about 7,000 people a day, whereas Fort Lauderdale sees about 70,000. And we did see security ramped up in Miami and other larger airports. But as for El Paso, it is quiet here. Nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to security. But I did have people coming up to me concerned, asking about details of the shooting. Can't imagine the horror that played out in Florida. Several people I spoke with first questioned how this happened. They say they didn't know carrying an unloaded gun in a checked bag is legal. I spoke with a woman who moved to Las Cruces from Los Angeles and has spent a lot of time in crowded airports.
But a bigger airport like LAX or the one in Florida is definitely just a lot busier, and you're just trying to keep up and you're just trying to get to your flight. So first I want to be, shooting at you or something like that. It seems like that would be the last thing you really be worried about, even though it is a possibility, but it's not, high on your priorities.
Other El Pasoans say they were just stepping off the plane and getting their bags here when they found out about the shooting. They said they called their relatives either in Florida or anyone traveling just to see if they were safe. Coming up on CBS4 at 10, you'll hear what El Pasoans would like to see here at El Paso International Airport. Reporting live in East El Paso, Ashley Cullinane, CBS4 at 5:30.
1,500 Fort Bliss soldiers hold their final ceremony stateside before heading off to Afghanistan. The men and women from the 1st Brigade Combat Team cased their colors today. That is the Army tradition, signifying members of the unit will soon be operating in a different theater. When the soldiers get to Afghanistan this month, they will unfurl their colors there. This morning, CBS4 spoke with the commander of the combat team.
These are incredible young men and women, our nation's true treasure, that willingly sacrifice everything to serve our nation, and they're well trained and they're well prepared, and we appreciate everyone's support.
What you're looking at here is video from last year of the 1st Brigade Combat Team training during a live fire event at Fort Bliss. These soldiers who are being deployed have also recently been trained at the Joint Readiness Training Center in Fort Polk, Louisiana, as well as the National Training Center at Fort Irwin, California.
Meantime, we get a blast of cold air pushing into the borderland, certainly dropping temperatures. Let's get a live look right now around town. We're at 49 degrees, a lot cooler compared to where we were yesterday. Winds calm for now. Some parts of the area seeing some gusts up to 20 miles per hour there at Speaking Rock. Anywhere between 5 and 15, 45 degrees, though, in the mid-40s throughout the area. Now, across the country, there you see that Canadian blast of cold air dropping us down as we zoom into the borderland. You could see those blues and those purples. That's that cold air beginning to shift shift into the borderland coming out of the east. 47 right now at the airport, 49 in Las Cruces. Winds have come down for now. They're a little bit stronger just a couple of hours ago. How it's going to affect your weekend plans and when spring-like temperatures will move in, coming up in your full forecast.
There is a late developing story out of Fabens this evening. A teacher at Fabens High School is under arrest accused of having an improper relationship with a student. El Paso County Sheriff's deputies arrested 31-year-old Kenneth Evans today at his home in Far East El Paso. According to the Fabens School District Superintendent, Evans worked in the high school science department for the past couple of years. Tonight he is on paid leave. His bond has been set at $500,000. Several El Paso schools have received F letter grades. The new progress report from the Texas Education Agency shows how borderland schools are doing. CBS4 at 5:30's Lachey Wesley shows us what all the grades mean.
Think of this like a progress report. The grade isn't official, but it is an indication of how schools will do when they're graded in August of 2018.
A, B, C, D, and F. Schools will soon be evaluated the same way students are. The A through F system is how schools will be evaluated in 2018. But districts are already getting an idea of how schools would do if the report card was issued now.
Showing what possibly grades could be issued to a campus or a district based on the data as it stands now.
Dieta Culbertson, a spokesperson for the TEA, tells me schools will be evaluated in 5 different categories and receive 1 overall grade. But this time around, schools are only graded on 4 categories: student achievement, progress from year to year, how well students from high and low income families perform, and how prepared students are for college and careers.
It's an information report based on a system still being built.
In 2018, schools will also be graded on how students are engaged in their communities, and schools will receive 1 overall grade based on the 5 categories. For now, the TEA said it's still working on the new system and taking input.
The A through F accountability system is still very much a work in progress.
Ysleta ISD did the best out of all the schools in the El Paso area. For a complete list of all the schools in the El Paso area, you can go to CBS4local.com. Reporting in the newsroom, Lachey Wesley, CBS4 at 5:30.
The local school district with the worst evaluations under TEA was the El Paso School District. 23 of its schools failed at least 1 of the 4 categories. This includes schools like Bowie, Irvin, and Austin High School, which failed in 3 of the 4 categories. But a district board member says the TEA scoring system isn't really compatible with today's education.
It's created a situation where you have teachers and students solely focused on preparing for the test rather than preparing for college and for life.
The district says it's planning to improve curriculum and the quality of instruction to bring up the scores. Meantime, former El Paso ISD Associate Superintendent Damon Murphy pleads guilty today to running a fraud scheme in the school district. Murphy worked under disgraced Superintendent Lorenzo Garcia, and under their direction, the El Paso School District was running a widespread cheating scheme to circumvent the state testing process. Non-English speaking students were being forced out of high schools or were being held back to keep them from taking the tax test. The test was required for 10th graders in English at the time. The cheating began in 2006. Murphy pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to fraud. 5 other EPISD administrators have also been implicated. They have hearings next week.
2 more men have walked away from the La Tuna Federal Prison Camp in Anthony. Christian Reyes and Mario Cruz Jr. were discovered missing around 9:15 this morning. Reyes is 27 years old. He's serving 5 years for importing meth. Cruz is only 25. He was given nearly 15 years for trafficking cocaine. There is new information tonight and a new reward out in a West El Paso murder case. Friends of 51-year-old Dawn Denise Weatherly found her dead Monday afternoon. Police have not revealed exactly how she died, but they are investigating the case as a homicide. A couple of Weatherly's friends went to her apartment complex on Bandolero after not hearing from her for a couple of days. As CBS4 reported, Weatherly was last seen alive on New Year's Eve. We spoke with her ex-husband, who told us she formerly worked as a nurse before retiring due to a disability. Detectives are certain someone knows something about this case. Your tip could earn a cash reward just by calling Crime Stoppers of El Paso.
And just ahead, a team effort, how you can help out some Borderlands students to help those in need as early as tomorrow.
He can run, but he can't hide. What Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys did today that hasn't been done in almost 50 years.
And finally opening its doors, what you can expect from tomorrow's reopening of the Ysleta mission. Next on CBS4 at 5:30.